So we worked through the night last night. We're finalizing the language on an agreement with the president that I believe is worthy of the American people. No one thought at any given day that we would be where we are today. The president said he wouldn't negotiate with us for 97 days. He wouldn't even allow us to talk. After we passed the bill, we were able to get in. But it wasn't until the final 2 weeks that we would really be able to sit down and communicate with one another.
This is a 2-year deal followed by years of non-enforceable funding targets. That's not the 10-year deal of budget caps that you guys were originally seeking. So how do you convince the Republican conference that this is truly transformational when it comes to reducing the debt and deficit?
We've been putting in place spending caps. What we saw with the last caps agreement is they eventually waived them. And then we had a compromise, and the compromise was we would set spending levels for those additional years, knowing full well that the next Congress could even undo our spending caps. But now we've moored the process to spending restraint and a glide path for how we fund our government. So this does have an effect next Congress. Next Congress will have to change that number through the legislative process, just like they changed the number on sequestration, which is the enforcement mechanism for this Congress. So 2 different ways to achieve this similar outcome, fully recognizing that Congress legislates and can undo existing laws. And House Republicans trying to drive spending as low as we possibly can and enact it. And a White House who's spent more money, this White House has spent more money than any other president outside of wartime. So the difference between our perspective and their perspective is enormous. So for us to draw them down and actually have spending restraint year over year and within a Congress is truly transformational and different than what we've experienced in recent years in Congress. This is the most conservative spending package in my service in Congress, and this is my 10th term.
You said that there were 2 years enforceable and 4 years not. I want to be very clear. It is 6 years of enforceable caps. Okay, there are different enforceability mechanisms for the first 2 years as compared to the remaining 6, but I think it's important. These are 6 years of enforceable caps. Something that's important to keep in mind, and one of the things we realized during negotiations, there has never been a 10-year deal that has been abided by. As the chairman just said, Congress always comes in and changes it. We did score limit, save, grow over 10 years. As we started studying some of these previous deals and realized they don't ever abide by that, and there was some pushback during negotiations, we realized that a 6-year was a bit more honest and transparent in regard to the savings, and we believe that that's going to generate somewhere around $2 trillion in savings from those caps alone, not even talking about some of the other huge policy
wins.
wins.
But the subsequent 4 years you would have to have the majority for them to be enforceable, correct?
Well, sure, but I mean, keep in mind that next year you could lose the House, Senate, and you could have Democrat control of the House, Senate, and White House all over again, and you could have us return to reckless spending. There's nothing we can do that binds the next Congress. There's nothing you can do. So what we tried to put in is the strongest enforcement mechanism to truly change that trajectory, put us on a financially sustainable path, and I think that this was a really good win.
I'm sorry. And this is Congressman Garret Graves. He didn't shave this morning for you.
I feel like I need to bend over for this microphone.
They put a lot of hours in.
Yes, we've been together quite a bit.
Good friend. Budget put together numbers just recently, and they quantify that a child or a grandchild born in America today is going to inherit somewhere near $4.5 million in debt over their lifetime. Think about that for just a minute. $4.5 million for every child or grandchild born in America today that they're going to inherit as a result of irresponsible, reckless, and selfish spending of politicians in Washington. Mandatory spending, some of these programs, these social welfare programs, like SNAP, food stamps, TANF, which is cash assistance, and simply said, look, you're going to ask taxpayers to provide you assistance. You need to recognize that that's something that people are doing for you, and you need to work to help yourself if you're single, don't have dependents, if you're between 18 and up to 54 years old, that you can volunteer, you can go to school, you can go work at your church, you can get job assistance and job training, saving billions and billions of dollars, which of course is great for taxpayers, but you know what's great for those people that are in these social safety net programs? It helps get them back into the workforce.